Jim, as we move forward with the drive-thru, I have an article here. I don't know if you've seen it. It's been making the rounds. It's from Rap, or The Rap, therap.com.
What are you saying? Rap.
Well, no, because the top of the website says Rap Pro, and then it says Rap Style, WRAP, Rap. So this is from The Rap.
Well, can you wrap it up and tell us what it is?
By Humberto Gonzalez. Red One Down. How Dwayne Johnson's tardiness led to a $250 million runaway production exclusive.
Oh, here you go. Now you get to spread this around. People are saying that they did a big hit piece on The Rock. The poor old Rock. The Rock has got $7 in his pocket. And the other hand is fucking flashing a peace sign.
That's the thing. Everyone reacts if you say anything bad about The Rock. If you say anything bad about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, they react like it's a hit piece, or you hate him, or some people say you're jealous of him. What exactly?
They're reacting to you wrecking The Rock.
It's just ridiculous. So that's the first thing you see. This is a hit piece. Not that this is all completely fucking true. But let's go to the article.
I'm just saying that they're saying that. A lot of people talking about it, but go ahead.
For more than 2 decades, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has nurtured a reputation as a hardworking, muscle-bound action comedy movie star with considerable box office drawing power. But Red One, a high-powered Christmas crowd pleaser for Amazon MGM, has turned into a massive budgetary misadventure, casting Johnson's fame and work ethic in a different light. It has been delayed. Let me go down a little bit. It was supposed to come out Christmas 2023. It has been delayed now to November 2024. But the real story is a lot messier.
Uh-oh.
Production issues, ranging from Johnson's chronic lateness and lack of professionalism on set to producers' inexperience, caused costs on the movie, co-starring Chris Evans and J.K. Simmons, to spiral upwards to a final budget over $250 million, a sum more fitting...
Wait a minute, $250 million for a fucking movie that's gonna go to fucking Amazon or whatever? Is this actually gonna be released in theaters, or is this a streaming production?
It'll be on Amazon, obviously. I don't know. I mean, it's Amazon MGM. I don't know if it would be in theaters. You would think it would, but they would obviously have the rights to it, the digital rights, the streaming rights, so they can get it up on their platform right away. But all these companies are investing a lot of money in original content.
$250 million. They could have remade Gone with the fucking Wind.
Well, it doesn't sound like that was what they wanted to invest in it, but according to more than a dozen insiders directly involved in the project, the Red One production was a perfect storm of problems compounded by the inexperience of the film's lead producer, Hiram Garcia, and Amazon MGM feature and production executives Julie Rappaport and Glenn Gaynor.
Well, who the fuck are these people, and why are they spending our $250 million like this?
Insiders told The Wrap that Johnson showed up as much as 8 hours late to set on the movie, forcing the crew to shoot around him on some days. On previous...
It's like if he's supposed to be there at 10 o'clock in the morning, he shows up at 6 in the evening. Can that be true?
If that is true, even I have to say, how could that be true? Because, he's 2 hours late. Axl Rose won't leave his hotel. That's one thing. 8 hours? I mean, these films are expensive productions. It's not a cheap thing.
If you were 8 hours late to Raw, you'd have missed Raw, and he made Raw.
But again, it's easy to do these kind of things when you're, using someone else's money. But let's go back to this. On previous films, Johnson has made a habit of peeing in a water bottle to save time, upsetting crew members. We now have a quote. On set, away from his trailer, if he needs to pee, he doesn't go to the public bathroom, said one insider who knows the movie star well. He pees in a Voss water bottle, and his team or a PA has to dispose of it. So let's stop there.
The PA has to dispose. Hey, pee. Well, now that's a common thing in the wrestling business in the territory days. You're driving down the road after the show, middle of the night. Maybe there's no place to stop. You're out in the country, or you're trying to save time. A lot of guys piss in a bottle and throw it out the window. Bobby Eaton was a master. Even on a bumpy country road, he could piss in one of those little Miller Pony bottles and not get a drop on the seat, and boom, right out the window.
Oh, that's really good. He didn't just hand it to his assistant, and it wasn't just on the set in the middle of the day because he didn't want to go to the bathroom.
Well, no, it wasn't under those circumstances. Continue on.
Amazon was hoping to launch a potential franchise with Red One, which is about a villain who kidnaps Santa Claus from the North Pole, after which an elf, which is an extremely large and formidable, it just is extremely large and formidable. I'm guessing I know whose role that is. Joins forces with the bounty hunter to find Santa and save Christmas.
Which one's which? We don't,
At its first ever CinemaCon this year, Amazon MGM took the unusual step of premiering footage from the film to a small group of journalists handpicked by Johnson's publicist, Meredith O'Sullivan. The journalists were shown about 10 minutes of footage, but were not allowed to write about what they saw. Let's stop there.
What? Did they have to sign NDAs?
Yeah, those NDAs were for them to not be able to say, "Oh my God, it was the greatest acting I've ever seen."
What the?
That's not what they're hiding.
If you're showing it to journalists, why would you? That negates the point of showing it to journalists if they can't write about it, doesn't it? Why show them then? If there's any question about what's going to be going on.
While it's common for studios to strategically reveal selected scenes, the complete media blackout surrounding the Red One footage suggests that Amazon is aware that it will have a rocky road to its delayed release.
I see what they did there.
In a statement to the Wrap, a spokesman for Amazon MGM denied there were any on-set issues with Red One or delays caused by Johnson's lateness or $7 inexperience, which caused the film budget to balloon. Here's a quote. Dwayne Johnson and $7 have been incredible partners on Red One, a film that audiences of all ages are going to love this holiday season. Our testing...
Or some holiday season.
Our testing has been very strong. The reaction from CinemaCon speaks for itself.
Wait a minute. No, we didn't allow it to speak for itself.
And we couldn't have made it without Dwayne's constant work and support. Any reporting that implies we got to this point with him showing up 7 hours late is both ridiculous and false. And then it goes into, I guess, Amazon MGM are having their own drama issues independent of The Rock, but now we go to the headline, The Rock is late. Johnson, who advocates for himself as the hardest worker in the room, and that's in quote, has developed a reputation in the industry for his lateness and lack of professionalism on set, according to multiple insiders who spoke to the Wrap. Said one, Red One insider, the only thing Dwayne was consistent at was being chronically late. The examples of Johnson's tardiness are numerous and well documented, from showing up late to fan events to leaving entire sets idle while he was off doing 3-hour workouts.
Now see if it's a man, he's going to be Hercules, or he's going to be this guy or that guy. He's got to be in shape.
Earlier this month, he was 3 hours late arriving ahead of his main event match at WrestleMania 40. Two insiders told The Wrap. For WWE World, a WWE fan event in Philadelphia leading up to WrestleMania 40, Johnson showed up 2 hours behind schedule, drawing boos from the crowd and criticism from the local Philadelphia press. According to a WWE insider, Johnson's late arrival was due to other WWE commitments, as well as traffic in Philadelphia on the way to WWE World in Center City. That's what it is.
Oh, good Lord. Down there, I believe the traffic thing.
Chris Legentil, WWE's Executive Vice President for Talent Relations and Head of Communications,
he's very gentle,
said to The Wrap that Dwayne was not only on time for WrestleMania, he was hours early to help with rehearsal. And a pleasure to work with throughout the entire run. We scroll down a little bit. On the set of Red One, Johnson's pattern of lateness proved more damaging. Johnson was late an average of 7 to 8 hours per day.
How? No, an average. That means that half the time he's more than 8 hours late. How would that would just be the next day, wouldn't it?
And he missed several entire days of production, ballooning costs by at least $50 million, according to 3 insiders who insisted on anonymity for fear of being
wait a
fired.
minute. They goddamn it. They shot Liberty Valance for less of it. No, they've shot umpteen major motion pictures in Hollywood for less than $50 million. How could even the star being late, unless he was in a goddamn horrible car wreck and disfigured and had to undergo plastic surgery for months at a time, how could that cost $50 million extra?
Because he's a complete phony and he's let it all go to his head. That's why.
But no, I'm talking
That's
about
why.
mathematically. How could that even be a possibility?
It's insane, but let's go back to the article here. It was a fucking disaster, said one insider. On days when Johnson didn't show up, all the production crew were forced to shoot around him. Dwayne truly doesn't give a fuck, one insider bluntly said. In response to questions, 2 sources close to the production, 1 close to $7, all insisted that Johnson averaged no more than 1 hour late to the Red One set.
Okay, well now see there.
No one's saying he's on time.
There's a wide disparity here from the sides. We're going from 1 hour to 8 hours. And I'm wondering if the truth could be somewhere in the middle, and I'm still waiting to try to figure out how that's going to cost $50 million. Were they going to spend a year in Bolivia shooting this thing to begin with?
One source close to Amazon MGM said the budget never veered far from the figure Amazon greenlit the movie at, $250 million.
Jesus Christ.
It is completely normal for there to be budget fluctuations within 15% of the target,
I think there was some budget fluctuations.
Production start dates on Red One were postponed twice due to Johnson's commitments to the Young Rock series, the XFL's relaunch, and the extensive Black Adam press tour, which he hoped would position him as a major player in the DC Comics Warner Brothers universe. It did not. After shooting for a week in August, production on Red One resumed in November 2022. Johnson's tardiness has been an issue for a number of years. Here's a quote. They rent a location they can shoot as much as they can of other actors while they wait for him to decide if he's coming to set. A producer who visited the set of HBO's Ballers told The Wrap. A former production assistant on the show corroborated this, saying, here's a quote, he was regularly 3 to 4 hours late to set, keeping 100-plus crew members waiting for no reason. According to a third insider, in March of 2017, Johnson was 6 hours late to the ball. So it's going up. I mean, now it doesn't sound outrageous that he would be 8 hours late. He's obviously in small increments going up as he feels he's becoming a bigger and bigger star. What do you think of all this?
Again, we haven't heard of any issue with this until suddenly we've got we're $50 million in the hole. How have they managed to keep the lid on something like this if it is indeed based in fact? And he's been buffaloing people all the time. I'm truthfully not against the pissing in the bottle. You never know where some of those porta potties have been. But otherwise,
come on.
Jesus
go to the
Christ.
fucking bathroom. Get the fuck out of here. Pissing in a bottle, handing it to someone.
Oh, no, well, I'm telling you, if they're on the set out in the wild, you're going to go into some fucking porta potty that's been set up in a trailer somewhere.
Maybe stop taking whatever you're taking. It makes you have to piss nonstop. How about that?
You've got a bottle there. You can just, it's round. You can just put old Pete right in the head of it. And
I'm not against this if there's an emergency. I'm just saying the fact that it's such a frequent thing, there are multiple sources talking about it and saying how disgusting it is.
It's a very interesting habit that he would adopt to save time on the set when he was 8 hours late to.
On the set of 2018's Rampage, not even sure what movie that is, Johnson was late an average of 4 to 5 hours daily, with one co-star keeping records of his tardiness, according to two insiders. Here's a quote. Dwayne's call times are never ever published on the call sheet. It's because one of the actors on Rampage was keeping a log of how late he was every day. The reason behind Johnson's perpetual lateness seems to stem from his refusal to work a full shooting day, despite factoring in his 3-hour daily workout routine. And then here's another quote. It's his absolute refusal to work more than 4 or 5 hours a day, a studio insider added. Another insider suggested it's a control thing. So let's stop there. What do you think of that? More people saying this.
Well, again, I understand you've got to have the physique to be the action movie hero or whatever and fulfill the role and everything. But shouldn't he meet him halfway since he's getting all these tens of millions of dollars and just charge him for an hour and a half of his workout and put the other hour and a half on his own time? And that way it would split the difference. And then he could go work on a set for 6.5 hours and in an hour and a half of his 3-hour workout, that'd be 8 hours. And then he's only an hour and a half to the negative on his own personal time. 9.5 hours. He's been a 6.5 hour movie star and he's worked out for 3 hours. Everybody would be happy. See, I could work these. I could be a big Hollywood agent like Swifty Lazar or fucking Zeppo Marx.
Johnson's behavior has led to confrontations with co-stars, most famously Vin Diesel. Here's a quote. Vin has been having problems with The Rock because The Rock keeps showing up late for production, an insider told People during their work together on the Fast and Furious franchise. Sometimes he doesn't show up at all, and he's delaying the production. During production in the fall of 2020, on Netflix's similarly titled Red Notice, Ryan Reynolds, he owns Mint Mobile, Jim. Ryan Reynolds was so infuriated after waiting 5 hours for Johnson that they had a huge fight. That's in quotes. Then Johnson stormed off the set. The two stars didn't speak for years until recently patching things up. So what do you think now you're hearing some of his stars were yelling at him or having issues with him?
Well, and Ryan Reynolds is, he's pretty important too in the Hollywood community, isn't he? His
Deadspin's
name
about to come
carries
out.
some weight.
Yeah, the new Deadspin movie's about to come out. That's going to do pretty good.
So that was a clash of the titans there. I'm sure they didn't have a physical fight now. We're not trying to, because I think we probably figure out how that might have come out, but they were apparently exchanging tongue lashings with each other.
You don't know. Rock is really big and bulky in an unnatural kind of way. If you're fast and small, you can probably scoot around a bunch and maybe land, land a punch or two. I don't know if he can throw a punch. Can The Rock throw a punch?
What's he going to do when he scoots around? Is Ryan Reynolds trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
The Rock has like 100 pounds of unnatural muscle on his frame. He will tear his quad if he turns around the wrong way.
And then he'll fall on Ryan Reynolds and Ryan won't be able to get out from under him while The Rock's crippled on top of him.
You see, Ryan, if you're listening, I love our sponsors. I'm supporting you in this fight.
Well, now, but I'll tell you what.
Jim hates the sponsors. That's what we're saying.
No, he'll sell you a much cheaper cell phone plan than The Rock will. Can you hear what The Rock is selling? I can hear it now.
Can you smell what The Rock is pissing? They say they say on the set everyone hates when he has asparagus the night before.
I was about to say no asparagus at craft services.
A spokesman for Reynolds did not respond to the Rap's request for comment. Insiders also accused Johnson of breaking strict quarantine rules on the set of Red Notice, whose cast and crew were sequestered by flying home in a private jet. He was flying, it is a quote, he was frequently flying home and breaking the extremely strict rules of the bubble, according to...
But wait a minute. When was this?
This was 2020. This is during COVID.
Oh, I thought this was shot in 2022 or something. Oh, really?
Maybe I'm...
For heaven's sake.
I thought it was 2020, but either way, apparently being accused now of breaking quarantine rules.
Well, now, which movie? Was that the first movie or the second movie? Is that movie over here now or the other? He's gotten a lot of complaints.
Crew members working on his productions tend to make their guild minimums to qualify for health insurance. Let me scroll down a little. Oh, here's another headline. Personal pee bottles. Beyond his disregard for the shooting schedule, Johnson upset crew members with his odd personal demands. The Voss urine bottle made its first appearance in a 2017 Instagram story and was later expanded upon in a magazine story, taking the shape of Johnson's usual anecdotes, macho posturing mixed with his "don't I work so hard" folksiness. Hold on, that's put so fucking well.
Okay, this guy now, I have a feeling that The Rock may have ticked him off too.
Here's a quote from The Rock. "I usually stay pretty hydrated. I need to go to the bathroom a lot. Not a lot, but probably a couple of times during every workout I have to go to the bathroom. So I break out the bottle," Johnson told Esquire. A crew member of one of his films in 2021 called him out for the Voss pee bottle online. Here's a quote. "He would never ask another person to dispose of something like that," said someone close to the production. Someone close to the production. I'm trying to just scan this because there's a lot of stuff here. Insiders also accused Johnson of using some of Red Notice's movie budget for his personal production company. According to two insiders, the team from Johnson's $7 Productions tacked on an entire XFL promotional shoot that added 2 days after the Red Notice marketing shoot. An insider added that the marketing shoot for Red Notice was, and it's a quote, "probably footing the bill for him to shoot the promo material for the XFL and Terramana," which I think is his liquor brand.
That's the tequila.
Second insider confirmed it. This would happen all the time. He would tack on these shoots and have the production company that was hired by the studio stay late, shoot it, and deliver footage. So what do you think of that? The fact that The Rock would be...
What are you cross-examining me? What do you think of that?
Because you blindly defend this guy. I've been calling this out for years, that this guy's a phony. And finally, it's all starting to come to light. And I want to know if you have reached that point yet where you're like, you know what?
Is this your nom de plume? Are you indeed Umberto?
I am not Umberto
Gonzalez. What was his name? Are you the author of this piece?
I'd like to invite you to Umberto's Clam House, but let's go back to this article here. We heard a name earlier, Hiram Garcia. He's the brother of Johnson's ex-wife and business partner, Danny Garcia.
Oh!
He started out as Johnson's personal assistant on the set of 2002's The Scorpion King, and his first major star vehicle, The Mummy Returns. After that, Garcia returned home to Miami to become an assistant on commercial shoots. Years later, he returned to become Johnson's full-time assistant, where he was responsible for prepping Johnson's meals and making sure he had water on set. And I guess that Voss water bottle, too.
Oh, God.
According to a Universal...
Wait a minute. He was not just the water boy. He was the piss boy?
According to a Universal insider, Garcia got up to creative assistant on the set of 2011's Fast Five, where he only had one job, to work for Johnson. Garcia was promoted to the president of production at $7 in 2017, according to Deadline. However, according to numerous insiders who have dealt with Garcia firsthand, he's incapable of leading physical production. Here's a quote. Hiram went from making Dwayne's protein shakes to running his company. If Vince from Entourage tried to give Turtle a real job, Hiram Garcia is what you get as a result.
Oh!
Now, hold on. We've always made fun of the fact that I have, that The Rock's productions all suck. And we all make, I make fun of his team, Brian Gewirtz, his ex-wife, who, if you ever see a photo of her, she's on the same shit he's on, or at least she looks like it.
Oh, come on now. Don't be bandying around these accusations.
She looks like it, I said. If you look at her, you think she's on some kind of hormone to get unnatural muscles. That's what it looks like.
There's a lot of muscles there for a woman that I would assume is in the middle part of her life. A lot of muscles.
And her brother, who was The Rock's piss boy, is now the head of production for his production company, which we're supposed to take seriously.
Ew, piss boy. So this is a mom and pop operation, and apparently their Uncle Hiram is at the Shady Rest, is sleeping on the front porch, running the operation there. And the worlds are colliding.
Despite working side by side and frequently shadowing seasoned producers for years on large-scale studio productions, here's a quote, Hiram still has no idea how to produce.
God damn it.
The only thing he has ever known is how to work for Dwayne. Anytime he's been in a situation where his responsibilities have expanded beyond DJ, he has crumbled. A person close to $7 noted to the Rap that Garcia was a PGA-accredited producer with 14 years of experience producing
Wait a minute,
movies.
what does the Professional Golf Association have to do with this?
Well, it's a guild, it's a union, but when pressed for movie credits that didn't have to do with Johnson, the person cited 2019 Shazam, which you would think was supposed to tie into Black Adam, but instead The Rock wanted, I think, Black Adam to feud with Superman instead of have a thing with Shazam.
Oh, good Lord.
Let's go down a little more.
Now here's another thing. Hiram. I got a problem with the name, because how can you take anybody named Hiram seriously as anything other than the town drunk in a fucking Western TV show or a goddamn hillbilly? Hiram just doesn't work. You can't be an exec. He should have been High. Just High. He may have been, but he should have been just High. High Garcia. That may fit on the marquee, but when you get into Hiram, that just screams fucking knucklehead, doesn't it?
You know what's funny, too? It has a thing here, a link to another article they must have wrote on this website at a different time. How young Rock writers Hiram Garcia and Brian Gewirtz brought Dwayne Johnson's first WWE match to life. Again, it's like a fucking team. It's a team of stooges. That's what I've always said about Gewirtz, and here it is playing out here, but let's go to this. Garcia rarely even knows the schedule on his own projects, is a quote. He should have picked up on how to keep track of the schedule and budget, but I've not seen him take any interest in doing that. Matters all came to a head in 2022 when Johnson and Danny Garcia met with Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav on not only inserting Superman back into Black Adam, but according to 4 insiders with knowledge of the meeting, positioning $7 to run DC and replace then-Chief Walter Hamada. An individual close to $7 said the meeting was about Black Adam and an introduction to Zaslav, who had just taken over the studio. The person denied that the meeting was aimed to pitch Hiram Garcia as a replacement for Hamada.
Oh, boy.
Garcia wasn't hired to run the unit. Johnson and $7 were evicted from DC shortly after the hiring of James Gunn and Peter Safran to run the division. Additionally, former Superman actor Henry Cavill, if that is how you pronounce his name, Cavill? I don't know. Henry Cavill? Heck, you know who he is? The Superman?
I know. I left everything with George Reeves.
Additionally, former Superman actor Henry Cavill fired Danny Garcia as his manager as a result. So it sounds like a shit show over there. And it does have one other thing here. And again, I won't go through every single thing, even though I've done just about all of it. Johnson's last 2 would-be blockbusters, the non-IP action movie Skyscraper in 2018 and the DC comic book adaptation Black Adam last year, underperformed critically and commercially. Next up for Johnson is A24's The Smashing Machine, a biopic about UFC fighter Mark Kerr that will be directed by Ben Safdie. Johnson is set to star alongside his Jungle Cruise co-star Emily Blunt. However, one insider warned, Benny has no clue what he's gotten himself into. The Smashing Machine is currently scheduled to shoot from May to August, but the same insider expressed skepticism that the production will proceed smoothly or stick to that schedule. Unlike Amazon MGM, A24 does not have $200 million to burn on an ego-driven runaway production, could the indie darling finally be the one to rein him in?
Oh. Boy, howdy, not a complimentary picture. But The Rock, he's a movie star. You got to put up with these little picadillos. But the brother-in-law, the mom and pop shop type of thing, doesn't sound like it's doing him any favors, does it?
Do you think he's going to put Hiram Garcia into the WWE Hall of Fame next year? Did you notice that the open of the show now, the new one they have with Triple H doing the Then Now Forever Together, they should drop that.
Together forever we go.
When they have that video at the beginning and they show then, and they show the older stars, now, the current stars, forever, then it's kind of like the greatest stars ever. One of the last people they show now is Peter Maivia in that video. Again, not to take anything away from his career, but everything is ego-driven around The Rock to the point where it bastardizes history. And it's all self-serving phoniness. And the week this came out was the same week I mentioned on the other show, 2 videos of him presenting people with things. The charitable Rock was only charitable when there's a camera that he has control of. And then he makes his stooges the producers. You'll see, there's going to be more stories about this. Just remember I said it. There's going to be more. Wait until the wrestlers get fed up with him this time around. That'll be the real story.
Well, thank you very much there, Mr. I Told You So. Mr. I Done Told You So many times. I hate it when somebody crows about being right all the time.
Would you like to bet on whether The Rock will fall down any further? I don't know it's just an article. I don't know if it has any effect on anything, but will more people
what's the over and under on whether The Rock hires another brother-in-law? That's what you're trying to ask.
What's the point spread on something like this?
Well, I don't think they do point spreads. That may not be legal in all states. I don't know about all the terminology, but I'll tell you what, Brad, did you ever play the over-under game with your friends? Where, one of you is under the other guy and the other guy's over that guy, and the person who's under is, you never played that game?
No, we didn't play that up here. You played that?
Well, yeah, where you say, I think that I can eat that slice of pizza in under 30 seconds, or it'll take you over a minute to guzzle down that quart of motor oil, whatever the case it may be, right? That type of over-under game where somebody's under and somebody's over. I bet you know what I'm talking about. What is your
I have no idea.
Mind thinking?
I'm thinking that you have a silly, dirty mind is what I'm thinking.
Well, then you're over instead of under.
Well, we're talking about going over with our friends at DraftKings. If we haven't said their name.
Going over there to DraftKings because they're our friends. And that's the thing. They're doing the over-under thing, and they're giving out huge cash prizes because what they've got, the Pick Six, the new fantasy game from DraftKings, who are, by the way, an official partner of the NBA, the National Basketball Association. So they're partially responsible if you have any problem with the NBA. They're an official partner. But here's what they're doing. You can pick between 2 and 6 players in the NBA playoffs, and you can choose if they're going to have more or less of a statistic. Rebounds, points, assists, all the things that they write down and keep track of. You try to figure out whether they're going to have more of something or less of something, and then you track your picks, which is better than picking your tracks, and you play against others for a shot to win huge cash prizes. So right here, why work the sweat of your brow? Why work your fingers to the bone? Why go out there and earn an honest living selling products and services that you have to work for when you can just goddamn clean up and be a rich, retired human being on your own private island just by getting all these picks right? No muss, no fuss. That's what you can do. Why in the world only suckers are gainfully employed when there's something like the new DraftKings Pick Six app out there right now? Brian, why don't we just quit both these jobs we've got?
I don't want to. I'm happy. I want everyone to use DraftKings, but I'm not quitting my job.
Well, no more. Just people don't go to work anymore. Bring the economy to a standstill because You don't have to be a sucker anymore working your fingers to the bone for the man when you can go download this app, the DraftKings Pick 6 app, and use the code JCE, and you're going to get a shot at huge cash prizes. And huge is another way of saying just plain big. A lot of money being paid. It's like these people at DraftKings have a license to print it from the government. As a matter of fact, they have set up a printing press in a back room, and they are having a lot of green ink brought in, but that may be coincidental. But nevertheless, download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app now. Use the code JCE. You're going to get a shot at huge cash prizes. You can't lose unless you're a complete idiot who doesn't know how to pick over or under. Pick both, and you're absolutely guaranteed to win.
Win with
Would that be
DraftKings.
right?
I'm not going to comment on how people. We shouldn't make any suggestions.
I'm just saying if you pick over and then you pick under too, well, you'd have to win, I guess, unless they broke even. Well, I guess there's some risk, but folks, where else? Otherwise, you're going to have to go to work. So just win money for free, just on your own knowledge and luck. You feeling lucky today? DraftKings, Pick 6, download, code JCE, lots of money, huge cash.
All right. Well, speaking of draft and DraftKings.
Oh, do we play that thing now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. We do. Our friend made a special comment, a recording for us that I have here. Oh, here we go. Let's go to our very good friend right now. He's been busy all day. Here he is.
Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 and over in most eligible states. Age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Pick 6 not available in all states, including but not limited to Connecticut and New York. For up-to-date list of states, visit dkng.co/pick6states. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
All right. Well, there it is. That's official. And as I said, speaking of drafts, Jim.
I'm glad we got that all cleared up now.